Let's take a look at string operators in Python. I'm going to start a Python shell like so, and the first operator we're going to look at is called concatenation. This just joins two strings together, and the operator is this plus sign right here. So let's take a look at how it works. Well, we already know what it does for number types, right? It just adds them as expected, but for strings, we're going to see how it joins them together. So I'll make two strings here. And when I concatenate them, I get something like that. It's a single string with these two stuck together. And you can see that I added an extra space right here so that I would get a space right there. Now, if I try to add a number type to a string, I'm going to get an error. So if I wanted to say hello 5 for some reason, it says type error, can't convert int object to string implicitly. That's because Python knows I'm trying to concatenate something, but this is not a string, so I need to convert it to a string. And that's what that looks like. The next operator we want to look at is known as repetition. This is the multiplication sign. So if I have a string like ABC and I multiply it by 5, I'm going to get 5 repetitions of ABC. The next one is a little more interesting. This is called indexing. So if I have a string such as this one right here, I can index it like so. So the 0th position of X contains the character H. The first position contains E, and so on. Now, Python's got this nice syntax where I can access the very last one without knowing the number of it. I don't have to count all the way over here to figure out what the last index is. I can simply enter an index of -1, and it's going to start from 0 and look backwards to the end and return that character right there. Works the same for -2, etc. Now that we know something about indexing strings, we can talk about slicing strings. And this is kind of cool. So I'm going to make another string here. And remember that the 0th index is going to give me the first one right here, the first character. What if I wanted the first 5 characters? I can slice this string from 0 to 5. Now let's see what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the 5th index right here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is at E. So like many things in Python, it's going to go up to, but not include, this nth index right here. Okay. There are other ways to slice this. I can do X from the beginning, when I leave this blank, up to 5, and I'm going to get the same thing. I can do this starting at the 5th index, which is actually going to be E here, and I can go to the 9th index. Now this is really going to go up to the 8th, and it's not going to give me the very last one. So it'll look something like that. Notice that all of these right here came from this string. We call these pieces right here substrings. So this is a substring of the string X. One more way to slice that you might want to know about is going from some beginning value to the very end. So that is slicing strings, and it returns a substring. The next operator we're going to look at is more of a function in Python, but it's very useful to know the length of a string often. So I am going to define yet another string. And I'm going to ask Python to tell me the length of this thing. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 characters in this string. If I simply ask Python for the length of X, that's what it tells me. This is very handy to know. I'm going to use the same string that I just had to talk about looking for a substring within a string. So we've got this string x right here. Now there is a substring in here, GRA, and I can simply ask Python, is GRA in x? This is like a question, and it returns true. Is capital P in x? It sure is. Is lowercase p in x? Nope. Is the character z in x? It is not. So these are like Boolean statements right here, and it's returning true or false. Another handy one to know. Now similarly, I can negate that like any other Boolean statement. So here's my string. Programming is fun. We know that mm is in x. That's true. So how about mm not in x? That's false. The character z is not in my string x, and therefore that would make this a true statement. So these are some handy string operators.